Yeah,
What's your name, sis?
You would, officer.
Kaylin, and we got Mark, right? Kaylin and Mark. I'm Officer Khalil. So I overheard that you basically you don't want taking care of the man.
We gotta take care of each other.
Okay. All
He
right.
ain't got no job.
Okay. First Peter 5 and 8. I don't want that in this route.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5.
Bring it on!
For a man know not to rule his house.
Read it again.
For if a man know not to rule his own house.
So it says, if a man does not know how to rule his own house, right? A man doesn't know how to take care of his household, how to provide for his household, how to get up off his butt and go to work to make some money for his household. Read.
How should he take care of the church of God?
How can he take care of his people?
Right.
How can he be a godly man if he's not willing to get up and go find a job? All these men up here, we work because God says we're supposed to work.
That's right.
Now I want the scripture where it says, if a man don't work, he don't eat. You got it?
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3 and verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work.
So if any of you men out there that are of my nation who are not willing to get up off your ass and get a job,
Bring it out!
Neither should he eat.
he shouldn't be eating. He shouldn't be eating. And when a man doesn't have a job, what does that cause in the household? What does that, it causes chaos. It causes problems. The Bible is in Sirach 25 and 22. Give me that. It causes chaos. It causes problems. How do you have a job? I mean, you look like a hardworking man, right? If you were married and your wife looks at you and you got no job, what's she gonna say about you? Straight up. Let's see what God says about that. About being with men who are lazy, who don't work.
I got a mic. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband.
It says a woman, if she's maintaining, meaning taking care of her husband, read,
is full of anger.
is what?
Is full of anger.
If a woman's taking care of her husband, she's gonna be mad as hell.
That's right.
And that's what we see so many in so many of our households is men who don't have work,
Right.
and women who got to be the ones who got the WIC, the government assistance, and they're looking at their man that they nothing, and it causes problems in the household.
Right.
It causes contention between what is supposed to be a holy union.
Right.
It messes the structure of our nation up.
Right.
Read.
A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence.
Impudence. You know what that word means? Impudence. What you think it means, bro? The word impudence, it means disrespect.
Right.
If a woman has to take care of all the financials in the house, that woman is gonna be full of disrespect.
Right.
Oh, that nigga, he ain't nothing. He ain't got no job, all that, right? Read on.
And much reproach.
And much reproach. Get up off your ass and go get a job. You gonna walk in the door, he gonna have the PlayStation on fire, and you gonna walk in and get up and go get a job. Why am I the one? But if that man was a man of God, he wouldn't be doing that.
That's right.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 9. Ecclesiastes 9 and 9. How we doing, sis? So what we're up here doing, brother, before you walk away, I need to ask you a question, man. What is your nationality? Okay, what about you? What say you? Okay, when you were a little girl, did they call us African Americans? You was a black girl growing up. And what about your mother? What did they call your mother? Maybe they call her colored, Negro, probably something like that, right? Because throughout the course of history, as long as we've been in America, our names have always changed. Is there a nation on the map I can go to called Africa America? You ever see that on the map? It's actually two Caucasian people, Leo Scipio Africanus and Amerigo Vespucci. Those are two Italian men.
Bring it out.
Do you descend from two Italian men? Is there a place on the map called Africa America? So how can you be African American? Isaiah 1 and 3.
Bring it out.
Isaiah 1 and 3. Is there a place called Negro land?
No.
So how can you be a Negro? Is there a country called black?
No.
So who are you, bro? If these are terms that were made up by the people who had us in slavery. Come take a look at the sign right here. And you deserve to know who you are according to the
That's
Bible.
right.
That's
Because you not understanding who you are and where you come from, it actually fulfills prophecies in the book. And we're going to read it to you, okay? Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
So it's talking about an ox, right? A dumb animal. But an ox, at least he knows his owner. He knows how to find his way home, right? Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
The same is true for a donkey. You can lead a donkey 50 miles from home, it's going to find its way back, right? Read.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel
Read.
doth not know.
God has a chosen people, but they don't know. They call themselves black, they call themselves African American, they call themselves Negro. But those people are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's right.
You understand? Send me your name again, I'm sorry. Corey. Corey, you're an Israelite. From the tribe of Judah, I'll bet. Come up and take a look at the sign. And I want you to take a look at these signs. And you too, sis, I know you can't get that close, but I'll hold them up for you so you can see. Right? When you look at this sign right here on to my left, what do you see on this one? Which one are you? Huh? American black. Give me Jeremiah 14 verse 2.
Bring it up.
What about you, sis? Which one do you see here? American black, right? Do you see what it says to the right of it? Judah. That's
right.
what your name is in the Bible.
That's right.
Read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
The tribe of Judah is in mourning, right? We see atrocities happen to our people on a daily basis. Wouldn't you agree, Corey? Okay, read.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the what?
And the gates thereof languish.
When it's talking about gates, it's talking about our leadership. We don't really have too many strong leaders.
Right.
And the ones that do rise up, they're usually put in place by the society, the dominant society. They choose our leaders.
That's right.
The Caucasians chose to put MLK in front. The Caucasians chose to put Black Lives Matter together.
Right.
The Caucasians put Jesse Jackson in your face.
Right.
Read.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
Read.
They are black.
What color is Judah?
They are
The
black.
tribe of Judah are the black people in America. The word Judah is a long word for Jew.
Bring it up.
But when I say Jew, what do you think about? What's in your head when I say Jew? Take a mask. I want to see.
She said white.
Okay, now when you read in the Bible, we got to read prophecies that happen to the Jews. And we're going to see who it lines up with.
Right.
Does it line up with Caucasian people or does it line up with American blacks? We're going to find out.
T-shot.
We're going to find out. Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. What I have you holding?
T-shot.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Corey, don't leave, but you're not going to ever hear this ever again anyplace else. I would encourage you not to leave, bro. You're going to find out today that this whole Bible is talking about you.
That's right.
That's why you need to stick around.
Teach.
Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
So
again.
God talking to the Israelites saying, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again. Now, what do you know about Bible history about the Israelites being in Egypt? What were the Jews doing in Egypt under Pharaoh? Okay, let's find out. Exodus 20 and verse 2.
Bring it up.
What do you know, Mark, what the Israelites were doing in Egypt? Corey, do you know? Okay, so during the 18th dynasty, the Israelites, the Jews, were in slavery in Egypt.
That's right.
So when you read the word Egypt, it means something. Read that.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2.
Bring it up.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
Moses parted the Red Sea and led his people out of Egypt, right? Read.
out of the house of bondage.
Out of what?
Out of the house of bondage.
So if I had you in bondage, Corey, what are you to me? If I had you in bondage, tied up, shackles, a slave. So when you read that word Egypt, it means that. It means bondage or slavery, right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it up.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Into what?
Into Egypt.
Which means slavery, right? Read it
again.
You're going into slavery again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What people do you know went into slavery on ships, Corey? The so-called African American did, right, sis? You agree with that?
Yeah.
It's not only us, the so-called Mexicans did too.
That's right.
Many of them got shipped over to Seville, Spain. So who is the Bible talking about? Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And since our forefathers were sold off of that ship, Corey, have we been back to our homeland? Hell, do we even know what our homeland is? No. Read on.
And there
off of that ship, Corey,
ye shall be sold.
you shall be what?
Sold.
You shall be what?
Sold.
Off of a ship, you're going to be sold to who?
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Your enemies.
Of people who would not teach you the Bible properly.
That's right.
Of people who would give you religion and Christianity.
That's right.
To tell you that your king looks like this.
Teach.
Now we think that the Jews are what color? White people. But who did that happen to? To the blacks. So if that happened to the blacks, who must me be? Because I'm not black. My skin is not black. My pants are.
Read up.
So who am I? How we doing, family? We're going over prophecies that pertain to our history. Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. I want you to take a look at the sign. If you're nervous, we'll keep the camera off you. Don't be nervous, because it's edification that must go out. Our people need to know who they are. Give me Job 8 and 8.
Sir.
Our people need to know who they are. Don't forget who you are, Corey. Take a look at the sign and tell me what it is that you see. Because our people are up here learning that they're no longer, should they refer to themselves as African American. We're not black, we're not colored, we're not Negro.
Right.
We are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's right.
The Bible, the word Bible means records.
Right.
So when I open the Bible and I read it, whose records am I reading?
Right.
Who am I reading about before 1619?
Right.
Before slavery?
Right.
Before they told me I was nothing but a nigger with a
Right.
hard R? Read what you got.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
For inquire, I pray thee,
You know what inquire means? It means to ask, to find out, right?
of the former age.
Of the what?
Of the former age.
A lot of our people don't want to acknowledge our history.
Right.
And if we don't know where we came from, how can we know where we're going? Read.
And prepare thyself
And prepare yourself, read,
to the search of their fathers.
to the search of their fathers. So we're preparing our people to understand who their forefathers were. That's why I'm asking you to take a look at this sign and tell me which nationality you are in the Bible. Yeah, hold it up. You can come close. We're not going to bite you.
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Okay. On the right side, on your left side is what we're called in the Bible. And on this side is what we're called in society.
Bring it out.
So they might call us American Black. They might call us West Indian.
Right.
But in the Bible, you don't read any of these terms.
Right.
But you will read Judah.
Right.
You will read Benjamin.
Right.
You will read Levi.
Right.
So we just went over a prophecy that explains how these people just got to this side of the world in around 1619 up to about 1840.
Bring it out.
Right? The slave trade, it happened to us. And that's how we can line up prophecies in the Bible that would happen to these people. Deuteronomy 28 verse 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
So when it says it shall come to pass, these are prophetic, right? These are things that will happen in the future, right? Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If these people are not hearing the words of God, how we doing, sir? Excellent, excellent. You take a look at the sign and tell me if you see yourself. I don't speak Hebrew. I don't know what that means.
I mean, I'm a
You a Jew?
Jew. Yeah, but I'm...
What tribe?
I don't know.
Okay. So how did you learn that you were a Jew?
Just through, families.
Through family?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing you went to Hebrew school and all that growing up.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I realized that the original man, you talked about Tigris and Euphrates, you're talking about, where things came from.
Right. Genesis 2 and 7. Which would be what?
Which would be, black people.
Black people. Okay. You're right about that. What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Chris. So I ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Where in the Bible can I go to find out that you are the Jew?
I don't know, man.
But you grew up a Jew your whole life.
Yeah.
And your parents told you was a Jew,
Right.
Yeah.
and their parents told them they was a Jew.
Right.
So it's a sensitive topic, but if you been a Jew your whole life, but you can't go into the Bible to prove it.
Oh, sure.
How do we know that you're a Jew?
I don't know, man. I'm not read with the Bible, you know.
Okay, so during slavery, were black people allowed to read? No. Why?
Because they wanted to keep black people down.
Okay, keep us down in what sense?
In the sense that, you know, they were brought over to be slaves.
Okay.
Just be kept down.
Okay, you're right about that, because when I go into the Bible, I could read about the slave trade, I could read about things like that. Go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
Bring it
So
out.
we're going to pin the beard on the Jew,
Bring it
so to
out.
speak, because you say you're a Jew, but when I ask you in the Bible to show me where you are, there's no,
I don't have
it doesn't line up. So we're going to find out who the real Jew is.
Bring it out.
Okay?
I got you.
We got to prove all things, right? Read that.
Yeah.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
You know the Jews were slaves in Egypt, right? Read.
again
People are going to go into slavery again, right?
with ships.
With what?
With ships.
Who that happened to, man? Read on.
Bring it out.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Just like Moses said it would happen, that happened to us. Orchestrated by another race of people. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
And our homeland, we don't know where it is. There's actually somebody else in our land right now pretending to be us.
Bring it out.
Read.
And there
And there off of that ship, this will happen to the Jews,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
ye shall be sold unto your enemies. Now, did that happen to, what's your name? Chris. Did that happen to Caucasian people, or did that happen to so-called black people? Okay, so if we can read about prophecies that happened to black people, pinning us as the Jews, who is in Jerusalem now? Why do you think there's so much war happening on that side of the world?
Bring it out.
Who is in that land calling themselves the Jews? Zechariah 9 and 6.
Bring it
Who
out.
is there?
They're white.
They're white people, and white people who cannot produce the fact that they are the Jews, because they are in fact not.
Bring it out.
I understand.
Okay, so while we're over here catching hell, there's a people who have stolen our identity. You ever been a victim of identity theft? Well, what happens when somebody steals somebody's identity?
The thing is, I don't know what it feels like to be a white person.
Oh, I'm not saying that you do. My question was, what happens when somebody steals your identity? You lose everything. So,
Bring it out.
read that.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 6.
Our identity was stolen. Our race, our culture, our heritage, what binds us together as a people, was stripped from us through slavery. Read.
And a bastard.
A what?
And a bastard
A bastard, meaning somebody who is not the son of God. Read.
shall dwell in Ashdod.
Shall dwell in Ashdod or Haifa or Tel Aviv. There's a people who are in that land calling themselves, Revelation 2 and 9, straight up.
Bring it out.
There's a people in that land calling themselves, and let this be a lesson to you, because we have to be able to identify who we are and what we must do to overturn our oppression.
Bring it out.
We have to identify who is who in the Bible, and we have to come back to our true heritage,
Bring it
our
out.
true culture. What you got?
Bring it out.
This is the
No, read that first.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
It says, I know thy works, thy tribulation, and thy poverty. When you examine society, what people are primarily in poverty? Is it Jewish people or is it black people? Christ says, I know your works, your tribulation, and your poverty, because black people going through hell right now.
Bring it out.
We getting killed by everybody, every which way. We not getting any, we don't have any money to it. We don't have a pot to piss in.
Right.
Read.
But thou art rich.
But we're actually rich because this Bible is ours.
That's right.
And never ever should it, the white people should have ever had their hands on it.
Right.
Because when they got it, they lied to us about what's in it.
Right.
Read.
And I know the blasphemy.
What does that word mean? Blasphemy. It means a lie against God. If something is blasphemous, it's a lie against God, right? So Christ says, I know the lie. Read it again.
And I know the blasphemy
And I know the lie against God.
of them which say they are Jews
There's a lie of somebody saying that they're a Jew,
and are not.
but they're not.
Bring it out.
but are the synagogue of Satan.
What?
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Chief house of the devil, the deceiver.
Teach.
Meant to deceive us to who the actual Jews are. That's why when we're in the 8th grade, the 9th grade, we learn about the diary of Anne Frank.
Right.
We learn about the Holocaust and all
Right.
that. Give me Daniel 9:11, 9 and
Straight
12.
up.
We learn about all the horrible things that happened to white people. We know how many people died in the Holocaust. 6 million. Off the top of your head, you knew that, right?
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you went right to it. How many black people died in the transatlantic slave
Bring
trade?
it out.
Teach, Ak.
How many people were thrown overboard and fed to sharks?
Bring it out.
How many Native Americans were murdered on this side of the world given smallpox?
Bring it out.
How many Aztecs got butchered, cast in the fire?
Bring it out. Bring it out.
And who were the ones to financially back this excursion? Who paid for that? Who profited from it? Europeans did.
Bring it out.
Read what you
used
got.
to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.